Hi guys, my name's Bex, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing to you my May wrap-up. When I did my April wrap-up with you guys, I said, oh, reading month wasn't the best, it wasn't where it normally is, and let's be honest, May got worse. So the month of May for me was a really busy one in terms of my job. I was inundated with extra work and the reading kind of took a little bit of a back step, unfortunately. Now, I don't like reading to take a back step because I love reading and I have fun reading and I just enjoy diving into different worlds, but that's not what happened this month. I did manage to complete some books. There's not many of them. Now, hopefully with May out of the road, June is just set to be a better month. Fingers crossed, pray for me. But without further ado, let's get into the stats of my reading for the month of May. So during the month of May, I ended up finishing a total of 3 books, totaling pages of 932. Now, the genre breakup of these books was 1 fantasy, 1 contemporary, and 1 sci-fi. Doing really well reading different genres. So out of these 3 books, one of them was a physical book, one of them was an audiobook, and one of them was a graphic novel. And the star ratings for these books were 2 4-star books and 1 5-star book. So ultimately, really above average ratings, which is really good. That's what I really want. So let's just dive into the books that I read in the month of May. Now, as usual, we are starting with my lowest ranked book, but there were 2 and I kind of just guessed on which one I thought was lower than the other. So the first book I'm going to talk to you about, and my lowest rated book of the month, was The Woods, Volume 2, The Swarm by James Tiernan IV. Now, this is the second book in the Woods series, and it is a sci-fi graphic novel that follows a school that they were going about their business, going to school one day. Next minute, the whole school, all the students, all the faculty, everyone was taken and dropped in like an alternate universe. It's kind of like them discovering why they're put there and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. 4 stars. Really loving this graphic novel series. I've also got the volume 3 that I can't wait to read really soon. I think the artwork is really growing on me. That is what we are working with. It's really colorful, but it's not too detailed. Like, it's just really pleasing to the eye. It's not the best artwork I've ever seen in my life, but I really like it, so. And this graphic novel actually jumps back and forth between what happened prior to them being dumped in this primordial wilderness and then jumping back and forth. So really enjoyable. It's getting extra creepy and I can't wait to see where this one goes. And I know I'm only just diving into this one, but I feel like it's got a lot more to it than meets the eye. I think there's going to be a lot of more science-based stuff coming in future, and it's got like dragons at the same time. If you're up for a new sci-fi graphic novel series and you would like to try something out, definitely try The Woods because I think it is definitely worth it. Moving on to my next 4-star rated book, it is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, following literally directly after the finish of Cinder. Don't really want to tell you too much about this one other than it follows different characters, but it focuses on the main character of the first book as well. But basically, Cinder was the first book in this series and it followed Cinder, who is a cyborg and a mechanic, and she kind of gets swept up trying to save her sister from the plague that was broken out in New Beijing, and stuff goes from there. She is trying to save everybody and she ends up getting sent to a testing facility where they normally use cyborgs to find the cure, but use them as in maybe they don't get out of there. They find there's something different about Cinder, so this follows on from there. Cannot tell you where it starts, but I can tell you that it follows a girl named Scarlet. And Scarlet's grandmother goes missing, and then she encounters Wolf, who is someone like she's never seen before. He is a street fighter, and he may or may not have information about her grandmother, and yeah, goes from there. Really enjoyed this. I think this series is really picking up. I think it's a really easy read and I'm actually really enjoying the story as it goes. I think the characters are really interesting and I loved diving into new characters in this one, but also seeing some characters from the first one. If you do not know, fairy tale retellings are like my thing and I love them, so really enjoying this whole series at the moment. And last but not least, my favorite book of the month and my 5-star rated book of the month, it is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which was my audiobook for the month, as well as I read along with this one physically because it's written really interestingly. So first off, what I love about Taylor Jenkins Reid writing is it is so unique and she makes characters feel like they're real. So we're reading a story about Daisy Jones and the Six, a band whose albums were absolutely everywhere in the 1970s. But on July 12th, 1979, the band broke up and nobody knows why. There is an author in this that is kind of writing their story, so at the front we've got an author's note from them, and I can't tell you who the author is, but they go through this story and they kind of get like a manuscript of each band member and different people in their lives telling the story. This is actually quite a journey. I absolutely love the audiobook. It was a full cast, so if you are interested in audiobooks and want a new one, this one I highly, highly recommend, as well as The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is Taylor Jenkins Reid's previous novel. And it's such a feeling reading her books because you kind of get so invested in the story and in the characters and in this group that you go and Google them and they don't exist. And I think it's really, really a credit to the writer to say that this band doesn't exist, but she made every reader think it did. So it's absolutely incredible. It was interesting and at times it's heartbreaking, but it was a really, really good story, and these are the kind of contemporaries that I like to read. So I'm excited that I got to dive into Daisy Jones and the Six, and that I trusted everyone that said the audiobook was amazing, because it absolutely was. I would definitely highly recommend this to anyone who read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and liked it, because this is amazing as well. I could not tell you which one I liked better because I just loved them both, but highly, highly recommend this one to anybody. And that is it for me today, guys. Those are the books that I read in the month of May, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more and have not already, and chat to me down in the comments. Let me know what books you read in the month of May. I would love to hear, and hopefully I have a better reading month this month. I've currently got 2 books on the go, which I'm not going to tell you about because you can find out at the end of the month like everybody else. Or you can go check my Goodreads, which I will leave a link down below as well. So that is it for me today, guys. I make videos every Monday and Thursday, and I'll see you in a new one. Bye!